Hello all. I welcome you all to this wonderful series of videos on parenting. I am not going to give you a rule book. I am not going to give you a formula on parenting because there cannot be one. Once a parent, always a parent. And parenting is an evolving process. Always an evolving process. I would say in my language, parenting is a subject. By the time you study the entire syllabus, the question paper that you're going to attempt, questions are changed, syllabus is changed. Every child is unique. And what I'm going to share in these videos is all about what I have learned being a parent to two daughters. I have two teenage daughters and coming across challenges of different set of parents during my 9 years of coaching time. So this is essence of what I have come across. Again, I'm telling you, it's not a rule book, but definitely I'm going to share certain things which are short reference point to raise kids. And to be very precise, it is nothing that I would be sharing that you have to tell your child to learn. Parenting is all about unlearning what we know and learning and accepting something new. So let's start this wonderful journey. Parenting, as I said, once a parent, always a parent. Now when we are raising this Google generation, obviously we have to be more careful. You cannot compare yourself. I used to listen to my mom. I used to not question my mom. Not questioning is not a good thing. Fine. For whatever reason, we were raised in a particular way. Let's not expect the same thing from our kids. Because asking questions, being curious is something which is one of very wonderful qualities. If you suppress your kids then and there. So, we are killing that instinct to know more. Now, the very first thing that I want to share in this particular video is, as a parent, you're always a very good example or a very bad warning. Your child, while growing up, is making up some mental notes. Every child is making some mental notes where they understand their parent, or maybe they don't understand their parent. They are making those notes. I want to be like my father or my mother, or I don't want to be like them. Yeah, this is a harsh, truth that we have to face it. I remember while growing up, during my school days, one of my friend, she is coming from a family, which is a very conservative family. During our 9th, 10th grade, she used to always say, I will never raise my kids the way my parents are doing. You will be the last one to know that as a parent. Friends will know first. Obviously, they would know first. But what is the whole idea? See, I'm not saying that, that there won't be any complaints between a child and a parent. There would be few, definitely. But if there are more gaps, it will not only affect your life as a parent, but it will also affect child's life, because their success in life, in each aspect, depends on their relationship with their parents and what kind of environment you're giving. So let's understand, parenting is all about gardening. It's about farming. What a farmer or a gardener has to do is give the best of best to the seed and let it grow. When you sow the seed, you don't dig out the mud or soil daily to see, oh, is it fine? Oh, is it fine? You allow it to be. And that is what we have to learn. Micromanaging your kids, being super protective. Somehow we are picked up in this age. I remember my nanny, with 8 kids, I used to always question her when she was there, and I used to question, how have you raised your kids? When I was blessed with my daughter, that time I used to question my nanny, how have you fed your 8 kids? She used to say, I was not running behind them. If you're hungry, it's there, food is there, go and eat. And this age, oh my God, we have typical process of how to feed kids. The best of best. See, no harm in buying best of best high chairs and the best of best crockery and all. But what about the habits? So parenting starts with understanding there are some grandma's things that are till date very nice, very, very effective. But definitely with the new age, we have to adopt something more. So first you decide, you obviously want to be an example or a warning to your child. Obvious answer is we want to be a good example, right? And it starts with us. The very first thing I want you to get it in your mind is, It starts with us parents. There is nothing that, we have to make changes in the child at first. I mean, there are few participants of mine who will come and tell me, Nan, can you please take a session for our teenage kids? My answer to them is, I don't take sessions for teenage kids if their parents have not done session with me. Reason being, child will always absorb what you are doing at home. So no point if I try to change the child. If I try to change the child's mindset, if the parents are still having the same mindset, same practices, child will not absorb. So what is the first quality, first reference point in the very first video of parenting that I'm going to share now is be truthful. Don't manipulate. It starts before conception. If this particular thing is something that is I don't know if it has become a new norm for many people to be a compulsive liar, to be a compulsive manipulator. That is there in your genetic makeup. That is what the child would inherit in genes. So if you're not truthful, if you are manipulating every second thing in your life, it starts from before conception. During pregnancy, the child would absorb everything. See, pregnancy and 0 to 5 years, every child is clairvoyant and clairaudience. That means child can listen to your thoughts. They can see your thoughts. Yes, they can see what you and I cannot. And when child can see this, you are preaching to your child to be truthful. You are preaching to your child to be honest. But what they see you doing is manipulation. For any reason. You would say circumstances demand this, that. I'm not getting into that. I'm saying in general, if the practice is to tell a lie, if the practice is to manipulate a thing, child would unknowingly accept or absorb that. And that would become a pattern, right? From starting of the life, when you're sending your child to one of the finest schools in the world, but the basic human qualities, basic qualities of being happy. A person who tells lies is never a happy person. And what is the rule for today? The new normal is happiness is the new rich. If you want your child to be rich, money is not sufficient. You have to measure your happiness index and you have to make sure that your child's happiness index is good. So if you want your child's happiness index to be good throughout the life, it starts with you. Manipulation will give you short-term results. It may give you short-term results, but long-term, it is never going to benefit anyone because of the karmic liability, because of what your child is absorbing. And this will also change how your child sees you. See, till the time our children are dependent on us for their needs, in the sense shelter and food and their education, they might just pretend to listen to you. Pretend to listen to you if at all you're lucky enough to at least pretending wisely. They are doing that. Once they are independent on their own, there will be total absence of respect and bonding. The respect factor starts with honesty. If you are not able to do certain things, say for example, not able to solve a problem for them or whatever, be honest. Oh, I'm not able to do it. Let's take help of someone else. You are the first person whom child will look at as a solution provider. But if you're not providing solution, or if you're not providing the correct solution, but if you're manipulating things, that is not taken in a correct way. That time child might not tell you. But as soon as they are independent, they are on their own. Nowadays, after 12, they'll go out for their studies and all. Then you will never be able to catch hold of them. And there's no need of catching hold of them. The very first thing is, don't try to bind them. I have seen parents, they are not sending their kids to best of best possible places, because if they become independent, they will not stay with them. Especially boys, I have seen this. Come on, let them blossom. A small tree cannot grow in the shadow of a big tree. You place your tree at the distance where even that small tree can grow to its highest potential. Allow them to grow. And this starts with being honest with yourself. Understand, they deserve a good life. They obviously deserve. And it starts with your understanding of what is good life. Good life is when you have best of health, wealth, relationship, and your happiness index is awesome. If your child has not seen you happy, if you're just pretending to be happy, child will absorb. If your child has not seen you smiling, I would definitely like to share this thing. In my initial days of training, there was this group of ladies who have attended this session, and some of their kids were my child's friends. They were in the same school. You know what they were saying? Like, oh, my mom has started smiling these days. And they are just looking at you as if this will be like Char Din Ki Chandni, something that will go off with the weekend or maybe by the time the class ends. If they have not seen you happy, don't expect them to be happy later in the life. So, parenting, the first reference point, as I said, no rule book. First reference point is be honest. Be yourself. There's no need to manipulate things just to be in the good books. If you're honest, the respect factor would go in a longer way. If you're honest and if you're a happy person, that is what your child would inherit. Because they absorb what you do. They don't absorb what you say. Practice is important, not preaching. So, the first thing that I want to share today is, in this video, be honest, be truthful. Long way that will help your child. Now that you have watched video till now, I hope you have liked it. Remember to subscribe for the channel and press the bell icon. And more videos on parenting are on the way. Thank you.